guys, it's Ilana. Welcome back to my channel. I am doing a different kind of commentary video. This is going to be more of like something that I've learned, and I wanted to share it with you because I like to do that here on my channel too. So if you don't know, I graduated from cosmetology school about 7 months ago, and I got a job 3 months after I graduated. So back in November is when I got that job. And I actually just quit that job over this past weekend because, well, it was awful. And I'm actually starting a new salon job this week as an actual full-time behind the chair hairstylist. So I wanted to make this video to share a couple of things that I've learned after graduating cosmetology school. So if you are about to graduate cosmetology school, or if you've already graduated cosmetology school, or you just graduated and you're kind of stuck in limbo and you're not really sure what's going on, I think this could be the perfect video for you. So let's get into it right now. First things first, let's address the state board licensing exam. You gotta study for that shit. I studied about 2 weeks for the exam, and I highly recommend you take that exam as soon as you graduate from school, because I can guarantee you're gonna forget all of the theory that you learned if you push it off. So take it just immediately after you graduate. I promise you're gonna feel much better about yourself, but obviously do a lot appropriate amount of time to study, depending on how much you need to study in order for you to retain material. I gave myself 2 weeks, so I got recommended this really great app by one of my instructors, and it's called the Cosmetology Exam Center by Thule Education. And while it is $10 to purchase like the whole entire set of everything, it still is free to download, but I can guarantee you it is worth that $9.99. Trust me. And you can immediately cancel it. So once you make that $10 purchase and then you cancel, you still have it for the rest of the month, because that's all you're going to really need it for. But you'll have access to all of the study guides. And the reason I'm recommending this app is because the questions that are on that app are basically verbatim to how they will be on your state board exam. At least it was for Oregon, but this is like a United States universal exam. So it wasn't just for Oregon, so I'm going to assume that it works for all states. So yeah, take that for what you will, but it was so verbatim, and I obviously did like practice exams that Aveda gave out. I also used ChatGPT to create my own little study guide. I did a lot of things to study, and after I did that is when I found out about this app, and I'm like, oh, I wish I used this the entire time, because this is how things were actually worded on the exam. So use that app to study, because that is the best app that I ever used, and I passed on the first try. So check that one out. So the second thing that I learned is that, at least for me, in Portland, Oregon, autumn was a terrible time to look for a job. So I graduated in the summer, got licensed in the summer, started looking for jobs in the late summer. I didn't get hired for a job until late October, and I started that job in November. It was very hard to find something. Nobody was hiring assistants or apprentices, and it was so discouraging, let me tell you. It was so discouraging that I settled for a job that I absolutely did not like, but you know what? I had bills and rent that I had to pay, and I had to feed my cat. If I were you, I would really start connecting with salons now if you are somebody who's graduating late summer or autumn, because hiring is really slow during that time. At least where I live, okay? I don't know about where you live. At least this was my experience. It was really, really tough. But that being said, there are still chain salons that are always hiring. I mean, I did go to a chain corporate salon. I was at a Madison Reed Color Bar. So like there's Supercuts, Great Clips, Fantastic Sam's, Ulta, Hair Cuttery. We don't have Fantastic Sam's or Hair Cuttery in my area. I would have been happy to work at a Fantastic Sam's, but again, they're not available in my area. But a lot of those places do take people fresh out of school, and they actually have great education programs. Madison Reed, they don't. So just keep that in mind. You want to be able to go into a program where you're actually going to get mentorship and really build on your skill set. And that's going to lead me into the next thing that I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about being an assistant for a second. So the words assistant and apprentice are used interchangeably. I gotta tell you something. The word assistant can mean something different to another salon or company. Where I worked, being an assistant was just a cleaning maid and a shampoo girl. Being an assistant can be a huge waste of your time unless you were actually getting proper education and you also get the opportunity to take your own clients. When you were interviewing for jobs, especially assistant or apprentice roles, you need to look at the job responsibilities or ask people that are interviewing you what the role responsibilities are and really ask them the nitty-gritty questions, because the one thing you do not want to hear is that it focuses more on just doing a ton of cleaning, shampoos, blow dries, and toner applications. Because if that is all you're doing and you're not taking your own clients behind the chair, run as fast as you can, because that will teach you absolutely nothing about hair. Maybe it'll teach you how to shampoo quicker or how to shampoo better, or maybe get your timing down, which is a good skill, of course, but it's not enough. I know a lot of old school stylists who are going to comment saying like, oh no, being an assistant is completely necessary. I disagree. Clearly, I'm not an old school stylist. I'm a millennial who's 33 years old, who stands her ground, who knows how to advocate for herself, which is probably something a lot of old school stylists didn't know how to do back then. But what I will say is, I think assistant jobs are only going to be worth it if you are actually getting proper training and education and you still get to take your own clients. Some people consider that to be an apprentice role. Some people say that's an assistant. It really just depends on the salon. But you will learn absolutely nothing by doing another stylist's bitch work all day long, and you will be miserable and it will burn you out. And that was one of the reasons as to why I had to leave my job, because I value myself as a hairstylist. I know what my skill set and talent is like, and I want to build on that and improve it, because I was just holding myself back in my career by just doing bitch work. And I get there's another argument that people say like, you should be an assistant so you can learn how a salon operates. Maybe I got lucky in my situation, because I went to an Aveda and my school ran like an actual full-time salon. I was always taking clients. Like, we have a phase called salon life, and once you hit that phase, it's the last phase that you're in. You are literally just taking clients throughout the whole day, and you get a wide variety of services, and you get to learn how to do lots of different techniques, which is really great. I feel like a lot of beauty schools do not offer that. What I liked about my school was that they actually taught us more than just the basics. And I really appreciate my school for the knowledge and the education that it provided me. Despite what people say about Aveda schools, I truly did get a great education. Also, another thing that I got lucky with is that I did work at a kids salon as a desk receptionist, and part of my duties were to assist the stylist and do some cleaning. Obviously, I didn't do like any shampoos, because a lot of the time kids didn't really get shampoos, but I still got to learn how a salon operated. And I also still got the feel of like how a salon would operate when I was at Aveda. So for me, I felt like I didn't need another opportunity to learn how a salon operated when I already got that experience. But I see that argument, but I guess depending on your school, you might already get that already. It really just depends on you and your preference. If you feel like you need to learn how a salon operates and you're really not comfortable being on the floor yet, then maybe the cleaning lady, shampoo girl role is the right thing for you. But if you're somebody who really wants to dive into hair, then don't be an assistant unless you're going to be taking clients. That's all I gotta say. Oh, and then just to add on that really quick, to also kind of debunk the whole excuse you should not learn how a salon operates. I feel like that's something you can easily learn as you go on the job. I don't think you have to be an assistant to learn how a salon operates. I feel like once you get behind the chair, you should go through some sort of onboarding at least to learn how to check clients out or check them in, understand the receptionist POS systems and all of that. Obviously cleaning is going to happen regardless, but those are things you can just learn as you go along. You know what I mean? I just feel like you don't need to be an assistant just to learn how a salon operates. I feel like that is something that you can just learn as you go. But again, that is just my opinion. Just my opinion. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. As you are looking for jobs, a lot of salon jobs are not going to really be posted on job boards. The best place that you want to find out where salons are hiring is through Instagram or other forms of social media. What I recommend is you follow as many salons in your area as possible and keep up with them and view their stories, check out their posts, and look out for posts or stories that are promoting that they are hiring. That is going to be the best way to find out a job opportunity. I found out about my job opening through one and only Instagram. I followed the instructions on how I had to apply based off the post, went through their process, got hired. It was super easy. So make sure that you rely on social media for your job search. I know that sounds really crazy, but it's true. I mean, of course you can look on Indeed, but Indeed is really going to show more like the chain and corporate salons. Maybe a couple of places will post there. And I have seen some, but I think Instagram is going to be the better option. So that's something you should keep in mind. And then the last thing that I want to share is be prepared to not make a lot of money when you get started. Yes, it's nice to have a job again, but I am still living paycheck to paycheck and it still sucks. But here's the thing. You can make a ton of money in this industry. You're not going to do it right away. I don't know why this industry pays so little for the hard work that we do, especially for how long some services take and how physically demanding this job is. But, you know, here we are. I will say when I was an assistant at Madison Reed, my pay was actually not too terrible compared to what other assistants get paid at an hourly rate. But again, I was still living paycheck to paycheck. It was still really hard to pay my bills and rent, but you know, I am barely pushing through. And even with my new job, it's still gonna be like that for a while, but I'm working on building up my clientele. So it will get better as I get my books more full. And another thing is, even if you do work at a commission salon, because I am gonna be working at a commission salon, it is so important that you don't just rely on walk-ins or random bookings for people who are like new to the salon and they've never booked before or whatever. You kind of have to still treat yourself like you're an independent contractor because nobody knows who you are, and it's important that you still need to promote yourself and work on building out your clientele. You need to still find your people, which is something that I'm trying to work on right now. And I know it's going to be a long road ahead, but what I do know is that it will be easier over time and the cash flow will come. But I know it's not going to happen in the first year, and that's something that I've had to accept. But I am excited once I fully get settled into the role more, and I'm excited to just see like all the hair transformations that I'm going to create within this coming year. It's going to be really awesome, and I know that I'm excited for my career. I mean, my vision board is exciting. You know, I have one that says booked, hashtag busy, hashtag blessed. So I am making sure that we still manifest that because I'm going to make that happen. But there you have it. That is everything that I've learned so far, the top 5 things. If you have just graduated school or if you're far into your career, comment down below some things that you've learned after graduating cosmetology school. What have you learned? I'd love to hear it. If you like this video, do make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!